Hey, welcome back to Cleveland Sports 360, coming at you from the beautiful studios at ClevelandTalkSports.com on the west bank of the Flats. Tonight, we're lucky enough to be joined by Coach Dave Duncan from the Cleveland Crush in the center and linebacker, Amber Barrick. If you tuned in a couple of weeks ago, you got to meet Amber live on the air. I just want to remind you, if you have questions for Dave or Amber, feel free to give us a call at 216-672-4300. Again, that number is 216-672-4300. Great opportunity to talk to Amber Barrick and Dave Duncan, the coach from the Cleveland Crush, who just finished their first home game last Friday night. I know, guys, things didn't turn out the way we would have liked to see them, but it was still a game. The excitement had to be, the level of excitement had to be way up there. Amber, how did you get ready to get ready for that game Friday?
I actually didn't play on Friday due to an injury, so there wasn't much prepping for me.
But you didn't know you weren't going to play before the game, did you? I mean, you had to be psyched when you woke up that morning, huh?
No, we knew. I mean, the doctors didn't clear me till later on, and the coaches and I had a meeting. So, I mean, it was pretty much set in stone.
Oh, that's terrible. I thought we already got the clean bill of health on your knee when we did the show 2 weeks ago. I didn't realize you weren't cleared by the orthopod yet to tell the viewers how you hurt your knee one more time. Because this lady, I mean, if you got to see the game Friday night, folks, you'll know that these women are out for blood. And those Baltimore bitches, I mean, if somebody needs to get in there and bitch slap those ladies, I mean, using the term ladies, it really escapes me. I mean, Dave, did you expect to see what we saw in that game Friday night with those Baltimore bitches?
No, not at all, actually. They play pretty dirty, seriously,
That's why I'm using the language I'm using. I mean, normally I wouldn't say that, but I mean, I was so pissed off, and I couldn't be in Cleveland that night. I had to be in Cincinnati to cover the Bengals with my son-in-law, who covers the Cincinnati Bengals for ClevelandSports360.com, and I wanted to jump right through the television screen and do a little bitch slapping myself, especially when I see a pass being thrown, the receivers up against the boards, and they sandwich them like that, and then she reaches around after the play's over and tries to slap her right upside the head. I mean, Dave, what do you say to your players to keep their composure? Because, I mean, unsportsmanlike conduct flags were flying left and right after that.
Well, the first thing I tell them is you got to keep your cool. You got to be professional at all times. And with that being said, you also have to be just as aggressive as them, or if not more so.
Amber, what was it like being in the in the bench setting with the rest of the teammates who weren't active in the game at that time, and you saw some of this dirty fighting going on out there? What was the emotions? Explain to us how the emotions took control of you at that time.
I expected it. I mean, we watched the game before when Baltimore played, and that's just how they are. We like to keep it classy on our team, and we did that. Anger did, it started to rise a little bit, and I got pulled down a little bit when I kind of jumped towards the bench a little bit, and then just had to recompose myself and, move on. They're going to do it no matter if they want to.
Well, for those of you who missed the show we did on the 12th with Amber Barrick from the Cleveland Crush, you'll know that this lady's out for business when it comes to playing football, and it's a shame that her knee injury kept her off the field this week, because if this stuff would have happened, I think Amber would have really went out there and punched one of them ladies right in the throat. I mean, that seems to be a move that you could get away with a little bit, and you would have set a few people straight. Isn't that correct?
Absolutely. Just upping my game aggressively on the field to keep it within, the regulations that that we want to portray out there. Just hit harder, no smacking afterwards, punching after whistles blown. It's just going to be through the tackles, and our play will speak for itself.
Well, that's the key too, and I think somebody really needs to take these Baltimore bitches to the side and give them a bone to chew on, or whatever their problem was, because certainly they didn't display the kind of class that the Cleveland Crush did last Friday night. Dave, take us through the game a little bit. Tell us exactly what happened, when it happened, and where we went wrong.
All right. We first started off. We marched down the field. And, we did a few run plays. They couldn't stop the run up the middle. We got down to the 2-yard line, and there was a bad connection between the quarterback and the center, which caused a fumble. They ended up driving down the field a little bit, and if I'm correct, they ended up turning over the ball once more.
Now, Dave, not to interrupt you, but some of the fans probably don't know all the rules that go into lingerie football. What is this you can't run the ball more than 3 times in a row rule? Where did that come from?
Actually, Mitch placed the rule in, who is the owner of the league. What it is that you have 4 downs, and with those 4 downs, you have to at least run twice and pass twice.
Okay, because it looked to me like there was a little bit of confusion even on the referees' parts. A couple of times I do believe there was more than 3 running plays in a row, and these guys looked dumbfounded out there. They didn't know really what to do. It just seemed a little bit off. And I myself didn't even know anything about the rule where you had to run so many and then pass so many. But some of these referees were new to this too, huh?
Yeah, they were extremely new. Actually, I knew a few of them from football, playing semi-pro and professional football as well. I know that they know the real deal about the rules with real football, but not as far as lingerie.
Now, Amber, this was your first experience being part of a professional football team, and even though you didn't get a chance to play, I mean, you were still a valued member of this team, and people came there, I'm sure, just to see you play. I know I turned on the TV looking for you to be in there. What was it like? What was the crowd support like? I mean, were you surprised by how many people showed up, or did you expect more people? Or I even saw a couple of characters from the Cleveland Browns Dog Pound showed up in their whole dog pound garb on, and that had to be an inspiration, huh?
Yeah, the Cleveland fans were amazing. We got more than what we anticipated to show up for our first game, so that was really nice. They stayed with us throughout the whole game. They started to die off in the 4th. So I had to take a bottle of water and spray them with it.
They probably wanted to come down out of that makeshift dog pound and bitch slap some of them Baltimore women themselves. I mean, there's no greater fan than the Cleveland fan, and when there's dirty play going on, I'm surprised you didn't have some sort of a riot down there. I mean, how those guys kept their composure when that dirty fighting started, it was beyond me, man. I just don't understand that,
Actually, it wasn't that bad. There was a few hits here and there, but overall, that was probably a pretty calm game as far as like the fighting and stuff like that.
So you're telling us it gets worse?
Yeah, it's gotten. I've seen much worse last year and this year. So I mean, this was a pretty tame game overall. I don't want the fans to get it twisted and think that this is one of the bigger fights that we've had. It wasn't even a bench clearing brawl, and I mean, I think that's happened at least twice now this season already.
You've got to be kidding me. You're telling me that both benches will clear and then it's just like a giant cat fight out there in the middle of the arena?
It's happened. It takes the league back some. So
Kenyon would like that. Well, he's probably thinking panties and brassieres will be flying everywhere. I mean, you remember him.
I watched the game, and I was waiting for something to come off there. It's just, I mean, this is what we're watching this game for. We want to see something come off.
Well, I'll tell you one thing, Kenyon. I saw a couple panty grabs going on for the tackle, and at that moment in time, I had my little grandson. I'm thinking, he likes his women naked. What the hell? He's going to see it firsthand here, man. So if you just joined us late, again, we have Amber Barrick from the Cleveland Crush and Coach Dave Duncan. Dave was taking us all the way up to the first fumble. Come on, Dave. Tell us really what was the deciding factor of this game? Where did the Crush not keep control of the football and score more offensive points?
Truthfully, in the second half, what happened was with my own concerns, I want to say fatigue set in, mental breakdowns, more so in the sense of misassignments. Basically just the things that you were supposed to do just did not get done.
Well, basically they were copycatting some of the Browns' moves then, huh?
Yeah, for the most part,
Well, it was nice to see you guys, you scored points in the first quarter or the first period, the first half, however you want to put it. We haven't seen that out of the Cleveland Browns yet this season. They haven't scored in the first period, have they?
Not to my knowledge.
Kenyon, we score any points for the Browns in the first period?
I don't know for sure. I'm not going to tell you no, and I'm not going to tell you yes.
I don't.
We
I
just
don't
win.
really think
That's all we
did.
do is win. We win.
Well, we squeaked by yesterday.
we won,
you know.
man. A win is a win. I don't care how we do it. A win is a win.
Well, you're right about that, Kenyon. I mean, it's a W in the right column, and we're 2-1 right now. What are we, tied for first place or what?
We are tied with first place with Baltimore and the Steelers.
It was nice to see the Bengals lose again yesterday. I mean, that's going to be a pastime for them this season, I'm sure. But right now we're talking Cleveland Crush football, and we have Amber Barrick from the Crush, the center and the linebacker, and Coach Dave Duncan. Dave, what is your specialty? What are you're really a defensive coach?
Yeah, for the most part, I'm a defensive coach. Like I said, I'm really good on the offense as well. More so, I help out with the skilled players.
It was your defense that put some touchdown points on the board, returning a big interception I saw there. Tell us about that. What happened?
Yeah, our quarterback, Abby, she picked the ball in the end zone, actually, and ran it back all the way back for a touchdown. The place erupted. The fans went crazy. And made us and actually gave us.
That was the longest touchdown return with an interception in Crush history so far. I mean,
Actually, the whole LFL history.
Yeah.
55 yards, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, she's going to be calling in at 6:35.
Oh, we're going to have Abby, the quarterback, call in a little bit, and then we'll ask her how she likes putting her hands under Amber to get the snap once in a while. Kenyon's probably wanting to know that, huh, Kenyon?
That sounds good to me, man. Just keep it going. Keep it going.
So, for those of you that missed the Cleveland Crush game last Friday night, their next home game is October 29th against Philly, right, Amber?
Correct.
And, there was a pretty good crowd. There was a lot of, hey, how did the little party go before the game? Didn't you say some Crush players were going to be out front doing a little tailgating before the kickoff the last time we were here?
Yeah, they actually took down the tailgating beforehand due to the Indians game. That was the cue and the Progressive Fields decision and stuff like that. So it's not like we were out there. We were kind of concentrating in the locker room and stuff like that. I did catch up on Twitter after the game and saw a lot of people were out front, though, with signs and stuff like that. So I saw a few pictures from it.
Now, tell us, Amber, since we're not allowed to go in the locker room, and Kenyon is really pissed off about that because he was telling me before today's show, too. He goes, I don't understand this. He goes, if you're a reporter, as soon as the Cavs are out of the shower, them women reporters are allowed into the locker room. Is there any way that they're going to let Kenyon come down there and cover the game and go into the locker room?
Right after the showers.
Absolutely not.
That's a double standard.
No, that I don't know how they do it with the Cavs, but we already play lingerie football, so we're already setting back on as far as like the feminism and all that out there. So we want to keep the privacy in the locker room. The coaches don't even enter unless they knock and if cleared.
Dave, you don't get to go in there either?
No, sir, I do not.
That's some bull, Dave. You're the coach. You got to
Amber,
your team, man. You
let me ask
fight
you.
for this. Fight for your rights, man.
Hold on, Kenya. Let's find out really what's going on in this locker room. I mean, these women are all getting ready, and there's not much to getting dressed, obviously. But like, is there Brazilian bikini waxes taking place and things of that nature that to get ready for the game? I mean, what? I know how women like to primp themselves. I mean, what takes place before the game?
Well, I just want to kind of remind everyone that we're athletes, so none of that is.
You still want to look good, though, right? You can't have. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Tell us.
We're in there focusing on plays. We're not in there.
So it's no primping going.
Petties.
Okay.
We are here to play a sport. Like, you got to clean it up.
That's true because, I was blown away, and I'm still blown away by the fact of how hard you women actually do play the sport. But, I know you want to look good, too, before you go out there and present the product to the Cleveland fans, Are you going to say anything?
You're about to get tackled, Larry.
I'm going to get tackled. Boy, I would. I'm going to step.
It's not going to be by me. It's going to be by Coach.
Uh-oh, Coach.
I'm not in
Coach,
this.
you've played some college ball, too, huh?
Yeah, I did.
On the defense, right?
Yes, sir. Offense, too.
Well, we're going to have to take a little break to pay the bills a little bit here, and I guess I'm going to have to be calmed down by Amber. And, Amber, did you ever think about your financial future?
Sure.
Well, if you want to put something away for a rainy day like we're having today, but no, serious, with all seriousness, you got to give Vicky Manarino over at Raymond James a call. If your uncle died and left you some money, let's suppose, unfortunately, you've just been divorced, you find yourself out on your own, Vicky Manarino has special training at Raymond James to help you put a portfolio together to protect your financial future. So pick up the phone when you feel like talking about your financial future. Give Vicky Manarino a call at 440-516-7550 or toll free at 888-289-7550. We'll be back in a few minutes with Coach Dave Duncan and Amber Barrick from the Cleveland Crush. Hey, welcome back to Cleveland Sports 360, coming at you live from the West Bank of the Flats. Again, we have the beautiful Amber Barrick from the Cleveland Crush and Dave Duncan, the coach from the Cleveland Crush. In case you missed it, last Friday night was the inaugural game of the first time the Cleveland Crush played at the Quicken Loans Arena, and it really was quite a battle that took place out there with the Cleveland Crush and the Baltimore Charm, who really looked a little uncharming to me. Amber, You've just been cleared to play football again due to this knee injury. Could you just tell our fans one more time what happened to the knee, and how long have you been on the sidelines now?
I think it was August 10th. It was on a tackle, landed and sprained my ACL, MCL, and cracked the patella. I think that was like 5-6 weeks now, and then early last week, I was officially cleared by the docs to practice. It just came down to if I could get enough reps in to actually play on Friday, and the answer was no. So unfortunately, I had to be behind the bench this past game and watch the rest of the team.
Well, you're ready to get back out there, and you can resume full sports activities at this point, correct?
Correct.
And I heard Coach Dave Duncan saying Wednesday night is going to be one tough practice coming up. What do you have in store for these young ladies coming up, Dave?
Lots of hard work.
A ton of conditioning, a ton of it. Got to get them in shape to the point where they can last that last quarter, that last half.
Now, Amber, do you feel, like, and I'm not going to judge any players because I only know you, but with your military background, being an active Coast Guard person, and your conditioning has to be a little bit better than your normal person. Would you consider yourself in fairly great shape?
Yeah, absolutely. But then again, I thought most of my other teammates might have been in the same shape or even better, just based on them being personal trainers and stuff like that. So I think it's mind over matter, and at that point, they let their mind get the best of them, and it affected everyone on the field.
So you really think that they thought different thoughts than what you guys were conditioned to think when you went out there to play? Do emotions carry a part of wearing people down when they get out into a game-like condition?
I think emotions got in the way. There was just a little bit of, after the whistle was blown, there was a little bit going on where they weren't focused on the next play. Break from the huddle, run to your position, get going with it. It was kind of a walking out there, at the first half, they were focused on the game. Second half, there was some looking around in the crowd, and I think that's when they realized, people were watching them play, and they had put all that away at the first half and didn't really notice it till the second.
So when you guys normally practice, you don't get any kind of a crowd for practices at all?
No, it's a close practice.
And playing in front of people was a little bit more pressure on some of the young ladies than what they're used to, obviously. So maybe they were a little bit more emotionally spent. Now, Dave, as a coach, how do you get somebody's emotions to be in check to where they're not wasting extra energy and you can get them up to play for this whole second quarter or the second half, as you're saying?
Well, in all honesty, what you'd have to do is continuously drill them to the point where that's all they focus on. That's all that they know. Because their minds will drift off, and if they're not focused, then that intimidation sets in. And a small part of me believe that after a while, the intimidation got to them. They started to back down. The aggressiveness ceased.
Well, from what I saw, and again, this was my first experience with lingerie football. I've never seen the game played. I've saw some replays on video before, and it looked to me that the Baltimore charm was out to intimidate these players. I mean, first of all, I think any team that comes from Baltimore to play a Cleveland team wants to lead by intimidation. I mean, Amber, what's your take on that? Did they over-intimidate the Cleveland Crush?
I don't know if they over-intimidated. We were definitely hitting harder in the first half. I think it was just the second half, that killed us.
So, do you think the players just ran out of gas?
That's.
Let's face it. It was not exactly a blowout either. You guys played a very, very close game, and you could have easily won this had a couple of more calls gone your way. I mean, it was a 1 point.
It was
penalties.
The penalties just killed us. 20-19. The better team did not win on Friday.
I don't think so.
We were more athletic. We were better.
Absolutely.
We had 3 missed conversions.
Absolutely. I think you guys were the more talented team out there. Again, I was a little disgusted at, and that's why I said if a couple of calls would have went the right way, and in any football game, you can go back and look at it, and you think to yourself, if that ref would have just saw this, or if he would have did that, or but that's football. I mean, that's going to happen. It's so important to keep those emotions in check and keep the energy level up. And the quarterback seemed like they had a pretty good grasp on what was going on. What appeared funny to me, Dave, was some of the receivers maybe didn't run the right routes. Or what's your take on that?
I'm gonna be honest with you, Larry. I'm not gonna sugarcoat anything. The receivers were, if I from what I could tell, they wasn't making key blocks. They was running down the field, lazy routes, not really going up for the ball when it came. Or times we had two key drop passes from Teresa. It's like I don't know if I can't really speak for them, but as far as like what I seen, it just seemed like they wasn't into it.
Well, do you think that they might have, they really played so well in the first half, and I really do think the Cleveland Crush was the better team. They really did play so well in the first half. Do you think that these ladies, Amber, thought it was easier than it was going to be? I mean, do you think they came out in the second half? I mean, tell us what took place in the locker room at halftime. Tell us what was being said.
I actually wasn't in the locker room at halftime. I was with the staff of the LFL out on the halftime show.
Signing autographs and things of that nature.
No, I was actually out there. We invite fans out to have a chance to tackle one of the LFL players. So they have a little dance-off, and then one of them wins, and they line up against me, and they try to pretty much bull rush me and see if they can knock me down.
These are the fans trying to knock you down?
Yeah, they let one fan.
Now, is this men or women, or
it's men or women that they just randomly select a seat number, and that person gets to come on the field, and then they do a dance off, and the best dancer gets a chance to go out to the 5-yard line. I line up at the other 5 and pretty much take them on at a dead sprint.
You got to be kidding me! It's like 2 Rams coming to the middle of the field to see who's going to knock over. How did you fare in that deal?
Well, it pretty much went my way. I got down to the other side of the 20 where the fan came up and just spun and didn't get touched. So,
wow, that's really something. So, Dave, were you in the locker room at halftime?
Yes, sir, I was actually.
And maybe you can shed a little bit of light. What was the Cleveland Crush players thinking in the locker room at halftime? Was it too easy in the first half for them?
No, actually, when they came in, it was kind of what they expected. They expected to come out and do what they needed to do, and they did just that in the first half. Me and Coach Eddie Horn, we both gave a little bit of a halftime speech in regards to what they can improve on. Yeah, so as far as halftime, it was a little good and bad. We tell them what they can improve on, and then we ended up telling them what they did good on at the same time, and to keep the intensity, and that the score was still 0-0.
Well, that's the way I would look at it, because the Cleveland Crush was leading that football game in the second half, and you guys could have won after that interception. I mean, I thought, my God, the Cleveland Crush is going to run away with this. But, you did have a lot of people down there. They really supported the Cleveland Crush. That had to be a great feeling. Now, Amber, are you still running that deal if people like your fan page and they want to get a ticket to come to the Cleveland Crush game?
That was just for our home opener. The players won't be holding on to tickets anymore. It's actually a lot easier now. We can just focus straight on football, where they, if they want a discounted ticket or something like that, and they want to sit in like a certain player's section, they can just message the player on Facebook, and they'll go ahead and give them. It's like www.theqarena.com, and then it's a promo code, and each player has their own promo code. So you can go ahead and get it that way.
And how do they find the promo code? You have to send you a message on Facebook?
Yeah, whatever player they want to sit.
Okay. So the next home game is the 29th against Philadelphia, and then you're going to travel down south to Florida for a couple of games, huh? Or you go to Florida before Florida on the 21st of October.
Correct.
Yeah, and that's are you a little familiar with this team on the 21st?
I'm actually know this team inside and out. I've been with this team all last year with my, we had an unofficial practice squad down there, and that's how I kind of got into the whole LFL in general. So I know their strengths, I know their weaknesses, I know what pisses them off most, and I plan on, exploiting that and passing that along to my teammates now.
There you go, Dave. You have a whole, like having your own personal spy here. You got to start writing down everything. Amber's going to give you all the secrets how to beat this team in Florida. What can we expect out of that game? I mean, is this going to be a tougher game than what we saw in Baltimore coming to Cleveland?
Tampa generally has a few. They have a few key players, but they don't really mesh well as a team. They have 2 strong safeties that are good at what they do. They also double as the receivers. They do tend to get tired. Liz Gorman is an all-fantasy player. She's one of the better safeties that you'll see out there. You can break her down just by talking to her. It's not that hard. Tiffany Powers is an amazing running back. She's been benched for 2 games now. First was because of her off-season non-commitment to the team, and then the second one is due to injury from practice. So she should be coming in pretty weak, but she'll also be out for some blood as well.
So hopefully this is a team of Tampa, right? That's Tampa is a team at a little bit of a disadvantage right now coming to face the Crush, huh?
I would hope so. I mean, they have not played us. However, I've been with them. I've been in the locker room. I've seen them at halftime. I've been in their halftime. Their emotions and stuff like that, and their personal lives and stuff like that. So, yeah, I would say Cleveland kind of has the upper hand on this one.
And then, not to mention, they just lost. What was it, like 48-0, if I'm correct? Yeah.
Yeah, but I tell you right now, Dave, my viewpoint, even when Miami came to play the Cleveland Browns yesterday, you can't look a 0-2 team. I was worried about the Browns winning that game yesterday. Those are hungry players. Hey, we're going to have to take a short break. We're going to be right back with Amber Barrick and Coach Dave Duncan, both of the Cleveland Crush. Remember, if you need help planning your financial future, give Vicky Manorino a call over at Raymond James, 440-516-7550, or toll free at 888-289-7550. We're going to be right back. Hey, don't forget, if you have a question for Coach Dave or Amber Barrick, give us a call at 216-672-4300. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, welcome back to Cleveland Sports 360, coming at you live on the west bank of the Flats in beautiful downtown Cleveland. We got Dave Duncan and Amber Barrick, both from the Cleveland Crush, who just finished their first home game, the first ever lingerie football game at the Quicken Loans Arena. And don't forget, they'll be there on the 29th of October. I think we have a caller calling in right now. Put her through, Kenyon. Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Hi.
This is Abby Sullivan.
Hey, Abby.
Abby!
Hey, what's up, guys?
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you.
This is Abby, the quarterback from the Cleveland Crush, right?
Yep, that's correct.
And cornerback. You're the one that made the big interception and returned it 55 yards for a touchdown, right?
Yeah, that's me.
How exciting was that?
It was pretty exciting. I was really pumped up.
Well, Abby, we're talking about the Cleveland Crush's first game last Friday night at Quicken Loans Arena, and, obviously it was the first Lingerie Football League game ever played in the city of Cleveland, to the best of my knowledge. I don't know about some bachelor parties or what have you. But tell us, what did it mean to you to get the fan support that you did have down there? Give us your feelings. How did that feel?
It felt really good. We were a little nervous about not really knowing how many people were going to show up. We, as Browns fans, like we know Cleveland has the best fans around, so we were excited to see how many of them came out to support us. It really meant a lot.
Now, did you miss not having Amber lined up in front of you to snap the ball?
Yeah, it was something to get used to and adjust to. Both of our centers are really strong girls, though, so I just had to make the best of what I had in front of me.
Well, it looked like you did a fine job. I mean, where do you think the problems came into the game? I mean, give us your assessment of what needs to get better to get down to Tampa and come back with a victory.
Well, I think just that initial game being out of the way will help us a lot. I think a lot of us really didn't know what to expect when we were out there. Just playing was a good experience in itself to help us know when we go down to Tampa what to expect from now on. And I think we know that we need to be a little more aggressive, and instead of waiting more for contact, we need to be the ones that start all the aggression and contact.
Now, Amber, was this what's your experience when it comes to lingerie football or any type of football? How many years have you been doing this? Hello?
You asked me.
I'm sorry, Abby.
Yeah.
How many years have you been playing lingerie football?
This is my first season.
And did you have a football experience before this?
Not really. Not other than just playing in my backyard with my dad and my brother.
Oh, so you kind of grew up playing family football.
Yeah, that's about it. I actually played soccer, basketball, and ran track in high school and college, so my football experience has been minimal at best.
Dave, you want to say anything to Abby or ask her anything?
Abby, guess what?
What?
You know your coach love you, right?
I know my coach loves me.
No, seriously though, Abby, you played an excellent game. I was very proud of your tenacity, very proud of your emotion. I was happy in how you carried yourself on and off the field.
I co-sign that.
You know, I am very proud to have you on the team and to be able to coach you. It's a privilege.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to have you as a coach.
Now, what do you think's going to happen when the Crush goes down to Florida? Are the girls in the locker room, at the halftime talking about things that may have went wrong, or how was the emotions after the game? Give us a little bit what took place in that locker room, Abby.
Well, I know there's a lot of girls on the team that just hate to lose. It doesn't matter what it is. We just hate losing. So that in itself was enough to get us fired up to go down to Tampa. We definitely analyzed a lot of things that went on during the game to help us prepare for what we need to work on in practice so that we are prepared to take on Tampa. There was a lot of analyzing and a lot of emotions. People were upset. People were crying. Girls were thinking about what they need to do from here on out to prepare us for the rest of the season. So all of that stuff took place, and I think we're all ready to go and ready to learn and go down there and beat Tampa.
Well, I'll tell you, I think it's going to happen. I think that this Cleveland Crush was the better team last Friday night from what I saw anyways. And, it's football. A few things didn't go your way or, your first crowd experience. How is it from when you leave practice where it's a closed, quiet practice to a place like Quicken Loans Arena where you have that crowd roaring for you? Tell us, was that hard to get the team going in the right direction just with the distraction of the crowd noise?
For me personally, that wasn't a distraction at all. It was awesome. I just tried to feed off of their energy. There was a lot of cheering for us. People were waving. They wanted to high five us, and just knowing that they were there to support us really helped me feed off of their energy and help keep me going throughout the game. And I think I could probably say the same for a lot of the other girls that that's important to have that fan base and that following because it really keeps us going throughout the game.
So, Abby, when you go down to Florida, and Amber has experience with this Florida team, so maybe I should be asking her this question. Amber, do you feel that will there be a larger crowd in Florida than what you had at the Q?
To the best of my knowledge, Tampa doesn't have the best of numbers coming down to the St. Pete Times Forum to watch them play. So I feel they might have a little bit more than us, but this is their third year. They should have 10 times more than us. So I feel that Cleveland fans in the areas, there's brown backer chapters all over, the United States, that will actually get some there.
There is
I'm
no
not worried
greater fan in any sports city in the world than a Cleveland Browns fan,
correct.
Or Cleveland sports teams, whether it's the Cavs, the Browns, the Indians, you name it. You have the greatest fan support in the nation behind you girls.
I think we do.
So, Abby, what are you going to do to prepare? I mean, I know it's about, 3-4 weeks away, Coach, before we go to Tampa. What are you going to do to prepare yourself to get ready for this next match?
Well, even though it's 3 weeks away, I am not wasting any time. There's still some things we got to work on. I've already started watching film on Tampa to get myself ready for seeing what I need to prepare myself going up against them off the offensive side and the defensive side. So I'm definitely going to be looking at a lot of film. I definitely want to get my hands on a video of our game on Friday so I can see the mistakes that I missed on offense and defense and fix those and iron those out before our next game. And definitely keep hitting the gym and staying in shape and doing everything I can at practice. So there's a lot to be done, but I'm ready to take that workload on.
I think Coach Dave's going to have you girls running a lot in the next practice to build up that extra stamina for the whole second half. So if I was you, I'd start drinking plenty of water right now.
I definitely started doing that. I got my water bottle here right next to me, so you're on the right track with that one.
Well, is there anything you want to say to the Cleveland fans while we have you on the air, Abby?
Oh, definitely. I definitely want to thank those fans that came out and the ones that supported us at home. We just hope you guys don't give up on us because we're definitely going to do everything we can to bring you guys a championship.
Well, I answered a question somewhere online, and it said it might have been the Cleveland Indians. I don't remember which website I visited, but it said, which team will bring you your first Cleveland championship? And I picked the Cleveland Crush to be that team that brings Cleveland its first championship. And that was before last Friday night's game, and I still, you're in a must-win situation now, Abby. Does that apply any additional pressure on you girls? Or do you realize this is a must-win to make the playoffs? You have to win the next 3 games.
I mean, definitely there's pressure to win regardless of our playoff situation and opportunity, but I don't think that's going to play too much into our minds right now. We need to learn that there are other things that we need to be urgent about, and it's not just about winning. It's about executing our plays, being ready to play no matter what's going on in the game. So will we have a little bit of an effect on us? I think it's not the kind of pressure that will tear us away from the direction we're trying to go to bring a championship to Cleveland.
Well, I'll tell you, I think all you girls need to do is unleash Amber Barrick onto the field now that she's been cleared medically. And I think that there's a raging tiger inside of this athletic woman right here that is just dying to get out there on the field and get the chance and the opportunity to maybe get a couple of interceptions herself and maybe help you a little bit more on the offensive line. What do you say, Amber?
Wow, you're talking me up a lot. Hopefully I live up to that. But yeah, I'm ready. I want to get back on the field. I hated every minute of being in the box and know exactly what I need to do to be effective and help my team out, Abby and the rest of the Crush.
Well, I might be talking you up a little bit, but the rest of the people out in the city of Cleveland or anywhere around the world that's watching this show right now, they don't get the full feel of having you next to them when we're in break and you're like, you know what, we're athletes and damn it, we're going to go out there and win some football games. And we'd rather be bad athletes than lingerie models. I mean, people don't get to hear that sort of thing. So these women are truly 100% athletic women, and they're out to play competitive professional football. Hey, Abby, we got to take another break. We really appreciate you calling in. We wish you the best of luck in your next game. We'll be rooting for you. And me and Kenyon Johnson from the ClevelandTalkSports.com and the Cleveland 360 show are going to come down to the Quicken Loans Arena on the 29th of October to support you ladies. We're going to be there. We'll keep Kenyon out of the locker room since it's forbidden, and we'll guarantee you we're going to root our heads off to get you girls a victory that night.
All right, thanks so much for having me, and I can't wait to see you guys down at the game.
Bye, Abby.
Bye, Abby.
See ya.
Hey, we got to take another break. We got another half hour of the show left. Don't forget, if you're looking for a great way to plan your financial future, give Vicky Manarino a call at Raymond James, 440-516-7550, or toll free at 888-289-7550. She'll be glad to sit down with you. She's a real nice lady. I'm sure she could help you come up with a plan that you can afford to do. You can't afford to sit back and do nothing. We'll be right back with the Cleveland Sports 360 show. Don't forget you can call in 216-672-4300. We'll be back in a minute. Hey, welcome back to the Cleveland Sports 360 show. Again, the number to call if you have a question for Amber Barrick or Dave Duncan, the coach from the Cleveland Crush. Give us a call at 216-672-4300. Again, it's 216-672-4300. Call in, ask Amber some legitimate sports questions. Hey, she's a beautiful lady, but she's an athlete first. And she doesn't want to marry every single guy that's running around loose out there. And there's only one of her. This state is not Utah. We can't have multiple marriages. So call in. Feel free to ask the coach or Amber anything you want to know. A serious athletic type of question. A question about a Cleveland Crush. But really, her life is full of wedding proposals already, so bring us a serious question. What the Cleveland fan base needs to realize is these ladies need your support to come down and help the team fill up the Quicken Loans Arena, and you have an opportunity to do that only one more time this year. Dave, when is that game again?
that it will be October 29th at the Quicken Loans Arena.
And Amber, what do people need to do to come down and meet the players, get some tickets, and help support the Cleveland Crush?
The game's at 9 p.m. What was amazing was, the game started at 10. We didn't get out till 11:30. There was over, I think, like 400 people after the game that we do an autograph signing, pictures with fans right after the game. They were there. They were still cheering despite the loss. They stayed there. They supported us. I mean, it really felt good. Cleveland does have, the best fans, and that was nice to see that. So if you want to come out down, meet us, check out the game. It's Halloween weekend, so the whole team is asking that everyone dress up in your orange and brown gear. The best thing about it is the LFL shop online will be open, so you can get your favorite player's name and number on a T-shirt. So I better see a lot of 5s out there.
Number 5, Amber Barrick. Now, what you were saying before, and I just want to clarify this, was it you had to wear orange and brown or brown and orange to sit in the end zones, or was that just for one game, or how does that work?
No, that was they called it the Crush Pound. So what it is they prefer that you dressed in the orange and brown. The people that bought tickets there, we actually invited a couple of them to our media day the day before to get a couple pictures with us, and a few of us girls actually did a commercial for the Q, so they got to be a part of it. So we're very interactive with our fans. I have one that offered every picture that he took of me or saw on Facebook. He's putting it together. My mom and I scrapbook, so he's getting me pictures so that I'm able to put that in my scrapbook.
These girls, they go out of their way to help the community and do things to bring some noticing to the Cleveland Crush. They go down to Bob's Golick's Sports Bar once in a while. I saw you guys there before. You get out in the community, you meet different people, you stick around after the game to do some autographs. There's no way you have time to do any of that before a football game, is there, Amber?
No, since I was kind of on the injured and active, I went over to Channel 19 News with one of the teammates, and we did a little come out to the queue tonight around 4 on Friday. So, we had walked over there from the queue. It's only like a block and a half walk. So instead of fighting the Indians' traffic and the traffic from us, we decided to walk over there and had people, shouting, we were in our warm-ups, that they were coming to the game tonight. Some of them were even already pre-gaming over at Panini. So, I mean, it was nice to see. Well, we couldn't, really stop. We were kind of trying to get to where we needed to be on time and then back. So it was just nice seeing people out there. When we're out, around downtown Cleveland area, like people start to like recognize you and ask you about the Crush, carrying a football or something like that. People have noticed at the Sunday at the Browns game, we were tailgating, they had recognized me, and I'm in military uniform, so it's nice to see that.
Yeah, you went to the Browns game yesterday in your Coast Guard uniform, and you were able to witness a victory for the Cleveland Browns, who only won by 1 point yesterday. A win's a win. It's still in the W column, and the Crush really only lost by 1 point. Dave, what do you think is going to be the result when you get these girls a little bit more conditioned? Can they march right through some of these lingerie football teams? I mean, this Cleveland Crush certainly looks like it has some talented players, and if they possess the same fire in their heart that Amber Barrick does, I don't know how you can stop them. What do you think, Dave?
Yeah, the team is excellent in my eyes. Shout out to my coaching staff, Eddie Horn and Dantes Howard. We work very well with the girls. They work very well with us. Like I said, it's a ton of potential on the team. It's definitely a championship team.
Hey, I think we got a call coming in, Dave. Not to interrupt you. We're going to talk a little bit more about these coaches in a minute. Put them through, Kenyon. Kenyon. Hello. Hello. Who do we have on the phone?
This is David Johnson.
David Johnson, one of our biggest fans of the Cleveland Sports 360 show, and I know he's a big fan of yours, Amber. Hi, Dave. How are you tonight?
Good. How's everybody over there?
Fantastic.
Pretty good.
Pretty good, Dave.
Good. So my question is for Dave over there. I want to know, how did the coaches with the Cobras and the Spartans get together?
We all knew each other from playing ball against each other. Like you said, Eddie Horn and Dantes Howard play for the Cleveland Cobras, which is a semi-pro pro team located out of Lakewood, Ohio, and then I play for the Cuyahoga County Spartans that's on the east side in Warrensville Heights. We're pretty fair competitors, and we've always had a good link with each other. We linked up pretty much over Facebook, got real cool, and the league that our teams are in, they have a message board. And, you kind of just melt with people that are just as good as you or if not better, So we click pretty well. We pretty much on the same page. As far as our team is concerned, we don't make a decision without the other. We all make a mutual decision together. Nothing goes past neither one of us, and we all come together as a unit.
What do you think of that, Dave?
Good stuff.
Did you get down there and see him at the Quicken Loans Arena, Dave?
Oh, I was there.
And we can count on your support to be there next the 29th of October too, right?
Oh, yeah, I'll be standing at the door tomorrow.
Now, is there any way you're going to rent a van and go around and pick up a bunch of your buddies and bring them with you?
No.
Come on, Dave. Get a little crowd support. There's only one more home game for the Cleveland Crush this year.
Yeah, I don't know. They don't want to go with me. I had 4 tickets last time. I had to beg people to go with me.
That's terrible, Dave. These
I
people
know.
don't know what they're missing. Give a shout-out to tell these people, what did you see when you went into that Quicken Loans Arena last Friday night? This was quality football taking place, wasn't it, Dave?
Quality football. These ladies hit so hard. It was incredible.
I think a lot of people don't realize that. I mean, again, I have to admit myself, I thought it was a joke when I first heard about it until I saw the film of some of these games. And these guys, I mean, these women are out for blood. And, I mean, I'm sitting here with Amber Barrick a couple of times. I've had the pleasure to do so now. And, when we unleash her on the field, I don't know how you're going to control her, man. You're going to have to get some sedatives from the doctor because I think she wants to go out there and help win some football games for the Cleveland Crush. Don't you, Amber?
I definitely do. I don't like seeing the L. I want the W.
And I don't think people are going to be able to stop you from doing whatever needs to be done on defense to get that ball. Isn't that true?
That's correct.
Have you ever made an interception in practice?
Yeah. We have one of my favorite defensive plays. I love the play. I can't tell you about it, but
Well, don't tell us about it, but
every
you
time
do
it's
have
called-
a technique to get in there and
every
steal
time
that
it's
ball,
called, I
don't
get
you?
so excited. Yeah.
How many interceptions had she made in practice, Dave?
Like 2.
If I'm as far as I've seen, it's been 2 so far.
That's fantastic, though, for somebody that's never, ever played professional football
And I'm
before.
at linebacker, too, so I don't really get them deep passes coming to linebackers.
No,
so.
but when you can get your hands on one, you're going to get... Do you ever drop the linebackers back in coverage, Dave?
Yes, sir. We actually do that.
So, your opportunity is going to come. We have 3 more games this year. And don't forget, Kenyon Johnson and Larry Glicken from Cleveland Sports 360 and Cleveland Talk Sports are going to be at the next Crush game on October 29th. And I tell you, if you people are dumb enough to miss the opportunity to not purchase a ticket and get down there, you're gonna be shut off for the rest of the year unless this Crush team makes the playoffs. And what do you have to do to make the playoffs, Dave?
You have to win 3 out of the 4, and it has to be a pretty much nice point marginal as well.
So winning by 1 point really doesn't cut the mustard in this league.
No, not at all.
See that this is even harder to get to the playoffs than, let's say, the Cleveland Browns. I mean, the Browns have to win a lot more games, yes, but I mean, a win's a win in that league. It's not like you have to have a big point spread.
Right, exactly.
So, Dave, are you still with us?
No, Dave is gone.
Dave's gone. But, hey, Kenyon, we going down there on the 29th or what?
We're going down there on the 29th. I'm going to show the women's support. I just hope they get these next 3 wins and blow them out, because I'm really interested in this, and I'm happy Cleveland has another sports franchise.
Now, Amber, tell the fans one more time how to get tickets to the Cleveland Crush.
Tickets, you can go to the Q box office. You can go to www.theqarena.com. You can get them from any from the site. You can get them from any player code. So you just have to message the player on Facebook to get their promo code. I also have a question for Kenyon.
Go ahead and ask.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I like that. Say
What
that again.
is your-
Say it again. Say my name again.
What website are you going to get your T-shirt?
ClevelandTalkSports.com.
Oh my God, no. No, that's the wrong
Give us some
answer.
T-shirts. We can give them away here.
No, you have to go to www.lflus.com and get your favorite player's shirt. So I'm going to ask
Slow
you.
down and give us that address
too
one more
fast
time.
for me to remember.
Absolutely, absolutely. Give us that one more time. Talk slow for all these slow people in the
Okay,
world.
it's lflus.com.
Oh,
that's pretty easy.
LFLUS.com.
That's where I'm going to get my T-shirt. Can I
And-
get a Barrick shirt?
Number 5.
Yes,
Number
correct.
5.
That is the correct answer.
Yes.
That's what I want. I
I'm
want a
wearing
number
Barrick
5.
on
I
my
don't think it's
chest.
going to look good on me at all, though, but I'm going to get one anyways.
Oh, I'm going to
Hey,
come high five every single person that has my shirt. Every single person.
will you sign it?
Absolutely.
Let me tell you, people, you got to get down to the queue. You only have one more opportunity for a regular season home game this year. And let's show these ladies that we're here to support a new team that is trying to help put Cleveland on the map as a sports city. And don't let this lingerie fool you, people. These are killers out there, man. You know, this lady is trained by the U.S. government to kill people. Now they put a football in her hands. Who the hell knows what's going to happen? I say get down to the queue the 29th. It's a Halloween party. Wear your orange and brown. Meet the players after the game. What is the price of a ticket? $25?
They're 26, 38. The closer you get, the more expensive they are. I think the sideline ones right up on our bench are 75.
You know, it's hard to believe a whole hour went by with the beautiful Amber Barrick and Coach Dave Duncan. We really appreciate you guys joining us. Amber, would you ever come back and do this again?
Absolutely, Larry.
Okay, well, maybe one of these days we're going to get you back. And Dave, how about you? Would you come back?
Most definitely.
Hey, don't forget, if your financial future isn't planned out well yet, you got to get a hold of Vicky Manarino at Raymond James. The number's 440. I can't even remember the number now. 516-7550. Again, it's 440-516-7550. And toll free at 888-289-7550. Hey, next week, Cleveland Sports 360 has a great show. We should have a Cleveland Indian to talk with us that we will be revamping the Cleveland Indians season. The Indians, as you know, were 30-15 in the middle of the spring, and we're going to find out what happened to this team and how they felt about not clinching the division. The Tribe's in Detroit tonight. Hopefully we're going to have a Cleveland Indian live with us next week on the Cleveland Sports 360 show. If you like the music we play on this show, send me an email at cs360@clevelandsports360.com. That's my band, The Rails. We'll be playing at Wilbert's October 9th at 6 o'clock. It's a Sunday night. It's early. We start early. We'll send you free tickets. Give me an email at cs360@clevelandsports360.com. Don't forget to catch the beautiful Kenya Huff, my man Kenyon Johnson. EP's home nursing his weenie. He's trying to tell us it's a legitimate sports injury, but we know better, don't we, Kenyon?
Damn right.
Don't forget to catch those people on Cleveland unsportsmanlike conduct on ClevelandTalkSports.com. Boy, am I messing up today. Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Tonight, don't forget to catch the 216, the 411 and the 216 at 8 o'clock. We give you the best of luck. Bring us back a victory from Tampa, and we'll see you next time. Good night, everybody.